You see we are free. And in a special moyo was gone. Ayan, Jana Junubi ayan. Mafi gurus, kisim giwaja shedi. Oh, Jian, Jana Junubi Jian. Wasu biler, Umakulu elefatur. Anataban, since 2011, Ladiasa, same level today. Anataban, 21 years, fighting freedom, and we are fighting ourselves today. No one is safe on Emily Road. No one is safe on Juba to Terekeka Road. Oh. Dead bodies recovered on the river Nice. Only God knows when the killers will be found. Oh no. Land grabbers everywhere, the youth are dying on the streets. We were finished from the bullets of the unknown gunmen and cattle raiders. Ayan, Jana Junubi ayan. Mafi gurus, kisim giwaja shedi. Oh, Jian. Jana Junubi Jian. Wasu biler, Umakulu elefatur. Anataban, since 2011, Ladiasa, same level today. Anataban, 21 years, fighting freedom, and we are fighting ourselves today. No, is this time for everything? Where is time for our peace? Oh Lord, is this time for everything? Where is time for our peace? We prayed for this country. Oh, school fees, and I'm a we want to soon.
Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Late Media Show. My name is Madit Majak, and my guest this evening and this morning and this night, wherever you guys tuning in, is Mr. Tut Riak. Is with me in the studio right now as we speak. Our discussion today is based on yes, all of you know that Dr. Peter Biar Ajak has been sentenced to prison for 46 months, but he will be released in 22 months. So Mr. Tutriak was in the courtroom yesterday in Arizona with other hundreds of South Sudanese who went and witnessed this case and support our brother, Dr. Peter Biar Ajak. Before I give this chance to my guest in the studio right now, let me send my heartfelt comfort to the family of Dr. Biar Ajak for all of this, because we've been following this case for the last 2 years, I believe, since 2024. Now we are in 2026. So hopefully we were real emotionally that we see our brother that facing this these charges in U.S., but the law, as we all know, that nobody above the law in America. So that's how the system work in America. Before that, let me welcome my brother Tutriak. Welcome again. This is your second time you appear in our show. Thank you again for coming in. Give your time. I know you are traveling right now, so go to your place, because that's why you guys cannot see his picture, because he's not. He's in trouble. He's in somewhere in the airport, so he cannot put in his video camera on. But you guys can hear his audio voice. So welcome, Mr. Tutriak. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Madit.
Give up your a little bit about you, and then we talk about the case. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Madit and the Lakes State Media. It's a privilege to come back and to be able to expand more on the case of our brother, Dr. Peter Biar. Before we jump into our discussion today, just a little background on how I got to know Dr. Biar is through some of the platforms that we shared. And prior to that, I advocate for his release back in South Sudan when he was in the Blue House. So he's someone that I'm very familiar with, and been able to work with him and understand who he is. And we have shared um, goals that we wanted to see in our country. So yesterday was an emotional day for all of us, and for those of us that have not attended the previous the court hearing, I think this was a moment of relief and also a lesson learned for all of us South Sudanese and what is to come in our country.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother Tut. It's wonderful. Can you give us, while you were present in the courtroom, what did you see? Did you see Peter Biar, any other accuser, Abraham Scholl? How their when you saw them in the courtroom, how do they look, and how do, for the last 2 years, do they stay in prison or they were in bail?
Hmm. You know what they did, although they both were arrested at the same time, each one
Mm-hmm.
had its own separate court hearing. And yesterday was Dr. Biar court hearing. Chol had already had his sentence maybe a month ago. He received 41 months, and I did not attend his hearing, but yesterday was only Dr. Biar, and I missed the other two hearing. Yesterday was my first time hearing, attending his hearing, and what struck me was when that door opened, because I was sitting kind of like in the two rows with the families and all that were speaking, and the courtroom was full. It seated over 50 people, and all the rows were filled with South Sudanese Americans that came and attended this. Some were those that were just wanted to come and observe for their own sake, and those of us were families, colleagues of Dr. Biab. So when that door opened and they let him in a courtroom, it was emotional because he's a friend of mine, and I never seen him in a situation like that. He had the orange jumpsuits. His feet were shackles. He has the both arms had were in shackles, and also feet. And when he came out, he looked good. He looked positive. His body language was strong. He greeted all of us. I think it was a kind of a relief when he saw the courtroom filled with South Sudanese. He smiled and he waved all of us, and they seated him in front of us, maybe just a row in front of us. And from there, the judge went on to proceed with the hearing.
Wow, I bet it was too emotional. It was really, and how. So, what is? Can you give us a little insight when verdict was read out by the judge?
Yes. So I'll just give a view of the courtroom for our viewers. So we were sitting behind Dr. Biar. There was two people sitting that escorted him. On our right side were the government prosecutors, and then in the front, the judge and his assistants. So Dr. Biar was sitting with his lawyer, and then the judge called him up and went on to read all the steps that the court has taken to try him and also to sentence him. He stood there with his lawyer, and then the argument went on. First, the opening argument, the lawyer gave the proposed sentences where it could be lesser than the usual, and then the prosecution on the government side also had their argument where they wanted the higher ends, maybe 57 months more. So what we wish was supposed to be maybe between 30 and 37, and based on Dr. Biar character and who he is, no need to expand more on the sentences when he already took full accountability for his action, and also took this as a learning lesson, and also accepting the law to take its toll, and no excuses were there, but very remorse and took full accountability. And from there, the judge gave the lawyer a chance to bring up those of us. There was four speakers. I was one of the four speakers. Dr. Biar wife was the last one to speak. We had professors, his friends, that came to attend, and 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 it was a moving for the judge to see how we all spoke on his character and who he is, and because the case was more dehumanizing him, and often the law focus on your action and your crime. Often the human side is not seen, and I think this was one of those cases where his character surpassed what exactly was in the crime, and no excuses whatsoever. And we want the law also to be in place, and that's what Dr. Biar is fighting for in South Sudan, where there be a law, and there be a independent judiciary where anybody is not above the law. So
Right.
as we all spoke on his character, now they proceed to the sentences. And there was a list of 40-page letters that was written by supporters of Dr. Biar, and many things that the court had read. So definitely his character played a huge role in the lesser sentences, or else it could have been worse than what we thought. And that itself kind of made the whole case more emotional and moving. And from there, the judge went on to the sentences. So they gave him 46 months, and then 22 remaining, because he already got credit for what he had already served, and 15 of those will be served. 15 out of 22 will be served in supervision aspect, whether they place him somewhere where he's supervised, or whether he'll be united with his family and serve the remaining sentences. So what is very important is Dr. Biar was given a chance to speak, although the court, the prosecutors, they focus on that. Definitely, he's a leader, and he knew better because he's educated. His work is tremendous. He had worked so hard to change the certain things in South Sudan. He knew better to not violate laws, and that's kind of why they held him accountable. They know that they know his character, but then at the same time, he made a choice that could have been altered, because South Sudan right now has so many violence going on among the communities. Illegal weapons are flying in, and we already have an arm embargo in the country. So the main focus was that Dr. Biar himself is a man of integrity, has the education, don't need more training, is fully competent of all of his action, and that's why it was very difficult for him to be just released yesterday, even though he served 2 years in a prison.
Wow. Yeah, that's really it's really and what about how do you see like if you can connect like he is was like the time that he was charged in South Sudan, and he spent almost I think 2 years in national security in Blue
Hmm.
House.
Hmm.
Did this show up in the courtroom yesterday?
Yes, it did show up because when he was given a chance to speak,
Mm,
he spoke on why he did what he did, and it came from frustrations, impatience, and what he'd been going through in the country. Given the fact that his life was at risk anywhere on earth that he lives today, is at risk, not only from the leadership, other things that comes with South Sudan, because right now in South Sudan is not only the leaders that would come after you, those that are supporting the leadership, those that have different aspect and disagree with you. So when he was given an opportunity, and I did speak on also that when he was in the Blue House, he suffered, tortured, and he was someone that has gone through pain. So in the courtroom, there was pain when he spoke. He spoke of his pain and running and trying to hide and all these things. So that came up many times. But at the same time, the prosecution are focusing on his crime, because what they're saying is that um, for you to go through all those pain, you had another option to bring change in a different way, and that should have been it. Yes, you were in torture. You were tortured for 2 years, but at the same time, there are things that you could do other than the action that you have taken.
mm. This is will be the learning lesson for my next question to you is regarding by as you one of the young South Sudanese activists. What lesson do the young South Sudanese in diaspora who are activists see to bring change in the country? What lesson do you get out of Peter Biar Ajak? And what lesson do we, the South Sudanese in diaspora, especially in the United States, what lesson can we learn from this case?
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Biar is someone that is well known and also well connected. I believe that the world seen his pain and his vision and what he wants for the country, but the world is also governed by laws, and they're telling him, if you want to empower your people, you have to bring a different approach to your problems, because this is a country that's been crippled by war, and we haven't had peace at the moment. So what we can learn as diaspora and also political activists, we must have a common goal and a common shared agenda that we want this country to succeed. Because what should be on our mind is that this country needs to succeed, and we need to get rid of all these hatred, all this violence happening in the country. As now we're still having violence, Jonglei, Upper Nile, and all these other places. So, and diaspora, there's laws. Whatever happens in the country back there, we cannot take it into our own hands here, because there's laws that govern this nation. What we can do as diaspora is come up with mechanism and tools for us to empower ourselves as a nation to be able to be law-abiding citizens and work with the United States government to ensure that the country does have a agenda that is on national identity, and a shared common goal. So us taking what is in South Sudan and trying to use it here, it cannot work here, because this is a country that has laws. And what we can do here as a diaspora, we need to build together, because if we can be able to build together and have a centralized um, way of us working together, we can change the trajectory that's happening in the country in South Sudan. We do have power here. Most of us are sending money back home to help others, help our families. That itself shows that we do have value here. So we don't need to bring all of these things back in South Sudan and bring it here. What we need to do is encourage the United States government to give us tools. We're not looking for handouts. We're looking for tools and not take. We're not going to take the matters into our own hands. Violence should not be something that we want as the only way for us to dispute and solve the crisis. We should have a different approach. Just like you and I right now, we may have different opinions on the things in the country, but it doesn't prevent me and you to talk about a shared common goal that we can bring this country into what we wanted for all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You are right. And what about like now he was served with 46 or out of 22 months. Uh,
Mhm.
what during that time? What the reaction did? Because when the case was, I remember people were thinking that Dr. Biara would be locked up for many years behind bars
Yes.
for serious crime.
Yeah.
So when
Hmm.
he was sentenced 46 and then he was served 22 months
Hmm.
before he released, what, how do his family and him himself and the rest of community of South Sudan
Hmm.
community who attend the courtroom, how do they feel about the sentence for 22 months?
I think we felt it was fair, and I was very humble when I spoke and seeing the reaction of the judge. I think it was a fulfillment for us that we do not have such structure to even be in a courtroom that everybody is professional. The judge is professional to everyone that was there. That was a fulfillment for all of us South Sudanese because, in our country right now, we do not have an independent judiciary in most of the states because most people are in prison without being able to see a judge. So for us, we felt the judge was very fair because it could have been worse because there was four categories that they looked at, and each category carries heavy charges because when you look at the weapons that were attempted to be acquired, it is very severe. This case is a very serious case, and we felt relief that it's able to be appropriate. And I think what really moved the court and the prosecution is his character because this is a man that has worked so hard and to bring a light out of South Sudan because at the time when he attended Harvard and also went to Cambridge, not many lost boys or even South Sudanese got to the opportunity to be where they're at, work that hard. So I think that his character also played a huge role. They knew that yes, he made a mistake. He took full action of what he did, but at the same time, he already was working in a better way to change the country. And then I think with even Dr. Biar when he was standing there, because he stood there for a while all the charges were read, and I believe even his body language he felt it was fair that it happened that way. And finally, because there's been changes in the sentence hearing, finally this is done. Now what's left is how does he move forward before his release
Mm,
and how to redeem himself from this matter because now he has to make new connections, almost starting all over. Now you have to build trust with the South Sudanese people, networks, and also the United States. What we were so happy about that we were all concerned is that once he's released, what happens to the status of staying in the United States? That
mm,
itself was very worrying for all of us. But the good thing that we saw was that the prosecution, which is the government, did state that they did not put that into in consideration, that he will be removed immediately from the United States. So they gave room for us later on to fight for his status here because it would be his fate is unknown if he was be removed from the United States and be taken to South Sudan or wherever. We don't know. So We were glad, and everybody, I believe, had accepted the decision made by the court, and we felt it was fair. Although
Yeah.
we wanted a different approach, but we felt we accepted it.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough because I'm really, that was my next question regarding my state because he is, I know he's not a US citizen, so I believe
Mhm.
he's holding a green card. And we have seen that President Trump administration is deporting people who commit
Mhm.
crime when you have, you stay here in the United States legal or you have committed a crime and you don't have a document, they will deport you right away. And
Absolutely.
that was a
And
very
that
good.
was that was also was they stated that he holds a South Sudanese passport. So, and the circumstances when he came into the country, he was brought here on an emergency visa. So
Mm,
that itself gave him a leverage to later on have an argument to be able to have a status here. So that's what really saved us.
that's very good. Very good.
Mhm.
So my next question is regarding about that this case risks a discouraging a diaspora political engagement in South Sudan.
I believe we were very clear yesterday
Mm,
that it doesn't discourage us from continuing to engage with the United States and also with each one of us. What it is based on is that we cannot take law into our own matters. We must
right.
respect the law of this nation and be able to continue to advocate for the things that are happening in our country. And I believe that everyone that came, even some of them were not family members, those that came voluntarily, that wanted to see something, they have a way now that I will be able to continue to engage in a different approach, because all of us was encouraged to bring a different approach to our problem, including myself, is that there are ways that I can bring change to our country. For example, I come from Upper Nile. We're still having a lot of violence. What can I do to bring change? Because all of us must go back to our home and clean up certain things that are there. So I think it doesn't discourage us. If anything, it does empower us and be more cautious of what we do and what we say, and be able to bring about a change in our country.
Absolutely. And also, do you think diaspora that playing a negative or positive role to South Sudan in this crisis that our people are going through?
Yes, I believe so, because when you look at our media and other things, we must also find a way. We know better as South Sudanese diaspora, because we've been exposed to things that we want to take back to our country. I think moving forward, we need to be careful on how do we interact with one another, how do we speak on the matters of our country, that we speak on unity and also holding everyone accountable for what they're doing. So uh, from now on, I think it just the diaspora, especially the Gen Z must get involved, because Gen Z will have better tools that they can use to bring each one of them together, because those are the kids that grew up uh, not with this tribal sentiments that has crippled our country. A lot of these Gen Zs are more concerned on how they can bring a change in South Sudan, and many of them are second generation, third generation. So I think we need to focus more also to how to empower the Gen Z for the next 10 to 20 years, where they can bring a better change to our country.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. I know this case is really a case that we, South Sudanese diaspora, we need to do a soul search and we have to make a part because law in this country are very important. We need to be very serious
mm,
regarding about one law to break, because for some like this, especially those people who are political activists in this
mhm,
country, not only
mm,
in America, even in Canada, Australia, or London, or somewhere
mm,
in Western country, for that the law, strong law. So we have to be very careful, so not to break the law, because we have seen, like especially in the United States, we have seen a lot of people are being deported. I received a phone call yesterday that there were two of my colleagues where was being judged. I mean, during South Sudan, we came here this part as a lost boy. So I heard that those two were deported like last week.
mhm,
I was so shocked
mhm.
to hear this.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
very
have to be
tough.
very careful. Yeah, we have to be very careful
Mm,
to to obey the law. Do not break the law of this country. Make sure that if you want to do something, do it
mm.
based according to the law. Follow the law.
Yes, and Dr. To just to elaborate on that, and Dr. Biar, when he was given a opportunity to
Mm,
speak, he did touch on that. That what he's going through is exactly what he wish that will be able to be implemented in South Sudan. That every leader will be held accountable, and I think that was a very humbling for us to see that that he accepted that because he still has a big role. He has influence in our country, even as diaspora. It's a big lesson for all of us that what we want here, as long we mirror what we lived here and we take it back home, this is exactly what will bring change into our country. So definitely, it's a lesson learned for all of us, not only Dr. Biar.
absolutely, absolutely. So my next question regarding about after he released, after he served 22 months in jail,
Hmm.
uh, and when he released, he's a free man. Do you think Dr. Biar Ajak future in the politics, in South Sudan politics, or in nationwide, do you think he will do his activities, or he would retire or say that's it, I got enough, I've been locked up in South Sudan and now I'm facing this, so this is it, I'm done, I'm not going to do more political work, I will be just be a regular citizen, stay with my family or stuff. What do you think when he release?
That's a very good question, and a lot of people have wondered, even those that are here, and even the network. This is a very good observation. I
Mm,
think this what we will see Dr. Peter true vision and ambitions of pulling our country to another level. So um, what was left for him is how will he use his skill sets, his education in terms of this mess that he's in. So he's still in a spirit. He's still strong. I believe now the next 22 months is where he will have to prepare himself how he will come out of this and leave everything behind. I believe that he will continue to engage, but his biggest focus is reuniting with his family because this decision not only affected us, but also affected his immediate family, his lovely wife, his children, even yesterday, we asked the judge if he can consider allowing Dr. Biar to remain with his family because he has children, he has a wife. So it was very, very sad. And then yesterday, his oldest son wanted to be in the court, but because of the laws that minors are not allowed, he wrote a letter to the judge, and that letter, for those of us that are fathers, very emotional. I think most of us had tears in our eyes and see the human side of Dr. Biar that he's a father, husband, a son, because his mother was also present. His siblings were presented. So I believe he owes a lot to the immediate loved ones that are around him. So I believe that he still have a chance, but now he has 22 months to prepare on his next journey because I would say for the last decades or so, it has been up and down for him. And 5 to 6 years of his life from the last couple of years has been in prison. So there is a mental toll. There's a healing process. There's pain. This will show us truly who he is when he come out. Will he be able to come out and then reach out to the leaders and say, I would like to be part of the nation building. Let's work together. Will the international community rally behind him and push him into a further place that he can change? I believe the international community do understand his character, his skill sets, but they have to support him on the things that will not bring more crisis, as this decision could have brought us more crisis, could have brought us more refugee displacement. So I believe once he come out, it's going to be a way for him to engage with the international community, the South Sudanese community, because some people are still hurt of the decision that was made.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Tut, for coming in to give us an update regarding about the case of Peter Biar Ajak, and also Charles Deng was with you yesterday. He's watching you right now, and he was really moved for the way you speak yesterday in the courtroom. It's really a good. I really thank you guys for the wonderful thing that you guys did to go and support your brother. That's how we show the support, and that's how the American culture is based on. Because I know they move, the more you guys put that support, that's give the court to reduce his sentence. So that's how, yeah. Because the American system is always when people talk about the human side, they will look that they will not close their eye from it. Let me see. Yeah. So before there's one of the guys joined me in the clubhouse. Attilo, do you have any question to ask? Attilo.
Yes, Madit, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is very short and brief, and I would like to congratulate Dr. Peter Biar Ajak for being given a very mild lenient sentence. He's going to come back, and then he resume his ambitions. Regarding the last speaker, I forgot his name.
His name is Tudriak.
Oh, Tudriak, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tudriak, yeah. So, Tudriak, yeah. Thank you so much for your elaborations and the way you spoken. I was a bit confused, Ustaz Tut, because three things. You said Peter Biar will come out next few months, and then he will resume his ambitions or what he want to pursue. And then you did put some if the international community is going to be behind him. I want clarity in that regard or in that juncture. What do you mean by international community? To do what? Because it's the same international community who put those of Dr. Peter and the rest of the people that are fighting within the South Sudan in that positions. And now you are appealing to them as well. So if you don't mind, can you clarify, what do you mean if the international community is going to support him to pursue what?
Very good, very good question. Yeah, thank you for that. What I meant is that yes, South Sudan indeed is heavily supported by the United States during the referendum and even from the time we were in the liberation. The U.S. has poured in a lot of donations and everything else. So, and when we became a country, we did not become a country because we defeated Bashir. We came as a country through a diplomatic negotiation where Bashir was he was pressured, and then also there were shared stakeholders in us becoming a country. So South Sudan was an international project, I would say, from those that supported it. And I think we can all agree that we did not capture Sudan as a whole, and then we became a country. It was through diplomatic negotiations. So when I meant as that is that he's still relevant. I mean, the international community is still relevant to our crisis, but we also made poor choices. Our leaders made poor choices for us to be where we at. I don't think it was the United States or any other international community that stood with us that put us into this situation today. It was our leaders that made choices. Even up to Dr. Biar today, he made a choice. And then the international community has their own interests. So I think the most important thing that we need to get out of this is that we also have to operate as partners to these other nations that are standing with us today that want us to succeed. I think we need to shy away from blame that they put us in this when actually we have a part in it. So when he comes out, he will have to reconnect again if he still have the ambitions to pursue a change in the country, whether through leadership, fair and free election, or anything. The stakeholders are not going anywhere. They're still going to be there. I think, and that's where I was heading towards that. Once he come out and he still has that desire, the stakeholders that made South Sudan to be what it is today, they're going to be there still. Yes, we do disagree with certain policies that are being placed by these stakeholders, such as even now the donations are still pouring in countries like Uganda. Although the election was rigged, some of these countries are still doing process of empowering dictators and other things. So definitely, they did not put us in this, but there we made choices as leaders, as a country, and they're still going to be around, and that's kind of what I meant.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Just a follow up, so we can be in the same page because there is tomorrow. Because this is going to be shortcoming. The fact that Dr. Biar Ajak is going to be released, and I want you to keep this recording or this interview or this room in archive because we are going to recall this tomorrow. If I don't know, it's only me or other person, including you, brother, who submitted. Your speaker said that South Sudan was a project. Is that correct? Regardless of the people that we lost, 2,000, 2.2 million people that we lost throughout the struggles since 1955 and 72, 1983, resumed by Dr. John. It was a project. That's what I.
Well. Here. Let me, because this question was directed to me. What I meant is that is post-war, not prior to that. I'm talking about the post-war leading us to this to the referendum. That's what I meant. So don't take it into in effect that even all the way through 1955 when the Nyanya came out and all the way through 2011. No, I'm talking about the post-war where it gave us an opportunity to be an independent country today. That's what I meant.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I think me and you, brother Gustas, I respect your view, and I think we are on the same page. You believe that there is someone gave us the opportunity to be who we are as South Sudan, including America and the Europe that you believe on. If I'm correct, there is people that gave us the opportunity, regardless of people that died or paid the price for this country. That's what I'm trying to bring or to make sense of.
Okay.
Yes, we're on the same page, and I can ask you a question. Today that we are called a country, did we defeat the Bashir regime?
Yes, we defeat not only Bashir, we defeat Nimeri. Starting with Nimeri until Bashir, we defeat them.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, then yes, and that, I think we're fair now that your view as you might have been a fighter, you might have been a soldier, so that could be there. But when you look at the generation that we're in, there's a different aspect to why and how South Sudan became a country. I don't think we can change the narrative that our country has lost tremendous human lives. We're not undermining that. But I think I do understand your position, and I believe you understand mine. The biggest argument is, from what you asked me, is what will be the aspect when Dr. Biar get out, when he's released, and then how will the international community be able to play a role once he's released? So I think that's kind of where we were leading, but I do see your views.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Let us leave it that way. So we come to conclusion. Thank you, Mr. Tutia, for coming in to give us an update about the case of Peter Biar Ajak. This is a people that didn't go to a courtroom yesterday, and now they got information from you. That's the reason why you are here to update our people what the state of the case of Peter Biar Ajak and how the situation is. So for the last thing, so I just want to say thank you so much for those of you turning in. Before I let you go, I will give you this to put in your last word, and then I will let you go and have a safe trip back to your area. Thank you.
Thank you, brother Madit. Appreciate it. Thank you for bringing me. And lastly, just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page as a country. Even those of us in diaspora, is that we need to continue focusing on national identity and nation building, and I think that's what will move us forward. Despite all the violence that happening in the country, let's all focus on the protecting of the civilians and properties and share common identity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and have a safe trip. I will see you guys, you next time I will bring you when we talk about the concern topic that going on in our country and in our communities here in
All right.
diaspora. So thank you
All
so
right.
much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. See ya.
Thank you. Have a
All
bye.
right. Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
But I have a question, Madit. Why did you let him go?
We ran out of time, so he's on the. So thank you guys. So for those of you in Clubhouse, you guys can continue with the more analysis regarding about this topic in this case. So for those of you who are watching, please join us in Clubhouse for more discussion. Thank you.